Previously, Naruto avoids Hashira conflict and meets with Kagaya, where he's warned about growing influence over Shinobu and Mitsuri, something Naruto dismisses. He later shuts down Obana's jealousy over Mitsuri, showing clear detachment from their personal drama. At the Butterfly Mansion, Naruto casually defeats Shinobu in her own reflex game, subtly shaking her composure and deepening her curiosity about him. He refuses to train Tanjiro, acknowledging his limits as a teacher, but shows sharp insight into others. Behind his calm exterior, Naruto begins forming quiet connections, especially with Shinobu, while unintentionally unsettling the balance within the Demon Slayer Corps. And now, the memory came back in fragments, sharp, clear, and annoyingly loud. Sunlight had spilled across the courtyard of the Butterfly Mansion that day, warm and unbothered by the chaos about to unfold. Naruto Uzumaki had stood near the edge of the training ground, tan and green Hiyori shifting faintly with the breeze, his posture loose, expression indifferent. Across from him, Inosuke Hashira crouched low, muscles coiled like a spring beneath his boar mask, jagged blades already drawn. "Fight me!" Inosuke barked, voice wild, unrestrained. "I've been watching you. You're strong. So come on!" Naruto looked at him, not as an equal, not even as a threat, as a child. "No," Naruto said flatly, and then turned his back and began walking away. That was all it took. Inosuke's temper ignited instantly. "Don't ignore me!" he roared, launching forward without hesitation. One fist cocked back as he aimed straight for the back of Naruto's head. The distance closed in a blink, and yet Naruto had already moved. No thought, no effort, just instinct. His body shifted in half an inch, Inosuke's punch slicing through empty air where his head had been. In the same motion, Naruto pivoted smoothly, his arms snapping forward in a short, controlled strike. His fists connected. A dull crack echoed. Not flesh, but wood. Inosuke's boar mask absorbed the blow. It didn't matter. The force behind it sent him flying backward, his body slamming into a nearby tree hard enough to shake loose leaves from the branches above. The trunk groaned under the impact as Inosuke crumpled briefly before forcing himself upright again. Naruto didn't rush, he walked. Each step slow, measured, controlled. Inosuke shook his head violently, regaining his bearings before ripping his blades free, serrated edges catching the sunlight. "Yes! That's what I'm talking about!" he shouted, charging again. This time it lasted longer, but not by much. Inosuke came in first. Fast, erratic, unpredictable blades carving through the air in wild arcs meant to overwhelm. Naruto didn't retreat. He stepped in. Every movement was precise, minimal, efficient. A shift of his shoulder avoided a slash. A turn of his hips redirected another. Two fingers tapped the flat of a blade, altering its path just enough to miss. Inosuke attacked relentlessly. Naruto dismantled him calmly. Within seconds, the rhythm was gone. Within half a minute, Inosuke was reacting instead of attacking. Within 1 minute, it was over. A single strike to the wrist disarmed one blade. A sharp blow to the ribs knocked the breath from his lungs. A final controlled hit sent him crashing to the ground again, dirt scattering beneath him. Naruto stood over him, untouched, unbothered. "You're wasting energy," he said calmly. "You swing too wide. You think speed makes up for lack of control." Inosuke tried to push himself up, and failed. Naruto turned away again, and this time, Inosuke didn't follow. The memory shattered. Reality was colder, heavier, silent in a way that pressed against his chest. The forest clearing was stained with the aftermath of battle. The scent of blood thick in the air. The trees stood still, unmoving, as if even the wind refused to disturb what had happened here. At the center, Kyojiro Rengoku lay motionless. His body was broken, Blood covered his face, dried and dark against his skin. One eye was ruined, swollen and lifeless. And at the center, a hole through his solar plexus, clean, brutal, final. Kneeling before him, Tanjiro trembled. His hands clenched tight as tears streamed freely down his face. Beside him, Zenitsu sobbed openly, his voice breaking with every breath, while Inosuke was silent. His fists were buried in the dirt, shoulders shaking beneath the weight of something he didn't understand how to process. Naruto stood a few feet away, watching, not speaking, not reacting the way they were. His blue eyes lingered on the body, a Hashira, the strongest rank in this organization, dead. Slowly, Naruto turned and began to walk away. His expression didn't change, but his mind did, because now it was undeniable. They were weak. Not in effort, not in resolve, but in reality. This world's strongest weren't strong enough. And as that thought settled in, something older surfaced beneath it. Something heavier, familiar in the worst way. For a brief moment, he wasn't standing in a foreign forest. He was somewhere else. Different battlefield, different war, different people. But the same outcome. A body on the ground, a comrade lost. Asuma Sarutobi. Naruto's jaw tightened slightly as he kept walking. The weight of that memory pressing quietly against his chest. Different world, same ending. And for the first time since arriving here, Naruto Uzumaki began truly understanding just how alone he was. Wait! Tanjiro's voice cracked through the stillness, raw and shaking, as it chased after Naruto's retreating figure. Leaves stirred under Naruto's sandals, but he didn't stop, didn't turn. Why are you leaving? Tanjiro demanded, rising to his feet, fists clenched so tightly his knuckles whitened. Tears still clung to his face, but now there was anger beneath them, sharp, burning, desperate. Naruto kept walking. I don't need to stare at a dead body of a comrade, he said calmly, voice carrying just enough to reach them. To know that Rengoku, you, Inosuke and Zenitsu completed the mission on the Mugen train at the cost of Rengoku's life. The words landed like a strike. Tanjiro's breath hitched, and then he moved. You! He lunged forward, rage overriding grief, but he didn't get far. A hand caught his shoulder, another blocked his path. Calm yourself, Giyu said quietly, his grip firm and unyielding. Now isn't the time, Shinobu added, her tone gentle, but there was steel beneath it. As her fingers wrapped around Tanjiro's arm, Tanjiro struggled, teeth gritted. How can he just say that and walk away? Naruto stopped, not because of anger, but because he wasn't finished. The Hashira, he continued without turning, voice even, are supposed to be the strongest in the Demon Slayer Corps. Silence fell, and yet one of them still died on the mission he went on, even with 3 capable lower rank slayers beside him. The words were blunt, unforgiving, but not cruel. Naruto's gaze shifted slightly, eyes narrowing, just a fraction as the weight of it settled. I don't want to see any more of my comrades die, he said. That was different. There was something beneath it now. Something quieter, heavier. Not because of an unknown variable like whether an upper moon decides it wants to appear or not. Tanjiro stilled. The anger didn't vanish, but it faltered. Naruto's voice lowered slightly, more to himself than anyone else. I'll speak to Kagaya. A pause. I'll take more missions. The wind shifted softly through the trees. I'll keep as many of you alive as I can. That was it. No dramatic turn, no lingering glance, just truth. Behind him, Tanjiro's breathing slowed. The fight drained from his body as confusion and something else, something reluctant, settled in his place. He's not wrong, Zenitsu muttered weakly between sniffles. Inosuke said nothing, but his fist loosened slightly in the dirt. A few steps away, Mitsuri pressed her hands together near her chest, her eyes softening as she watched Naruto back. "That's actually really kind," she whispered. Shinobu didn't speak, but her gaze lingered on Naruto, something unfamiliar tightening in her chest. A quiet, aching thought surfaced before she could stop it. If he had been here back then. Her fingers curled slightly at her side. Gyu's eyes followed Naruto as well, unreadable, as always, but there was no disagreement in them. Naruto resumed walking, and this time, no one stopped him. The Ubuyashiki mansion stood as it always did, calm, untouched by the chaos beyond its gates. Naruto stepped inside without hesitation, the familiar weight in the air, settling around him like a quiet acknowledgement. He removed his sandals at the entrance, his movement silent, controlled. An attendant bowed as he passed. He barely noticed. Moments later, he knelt across from Kagaya Ubuyashiki once more, the two of them separated by a low wooden table. Sunlight filtered softly through the paper walls, casting a warm glow across the room. Kagaya studied him. Naruto met his gaze without hesitation. "I assume you've heard," Naruto said calmly. Kagaya nodded once, slow and solemn. "I have." A brief silence followed. Then Naruto spoke again. "I want more missions." No hesitation, no build-up, just a statement. Kagaya's expression didn't change, but his attention sharpened. Naruto's eyes remained steady. "Send me wherever the risk is highest," he continued. "Upper moons, unstable zones, I don't care." The air in the room grew heavier. They're not strong enough," Naruto said bluntly. "Not yet." There was no arrogance in it, only certainty. And until they are, someone has to close that gap. Kagaya watched him quietly, the weight of Naruto's words unsettling, deep. Naruto leaned forward just slightly, gaze unwavering. "I'll do it." The room fell silent again, but this time, it wasn't empty. It was filled with something far more dangerous. Resolve. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, well, I'll let you decide if you want to like it or not. But without further ado, I'm out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay blessed, y'all.